Hey, Kim.
Okay, what is happening? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did. How about you?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
awesome. By the way, I am also getting awesome feedback and I'll send that out in an email. I just want to let you know we were in the Huntington Beach office and we were promoting EOG University and we had two agents say how great it was, how well done it was, that your presentation was easy to hear, it was easy to understand. They really enjoyed it. So thank you.
Oh, good. No, thank you guys. You guys have been promoting it and killing it. So it's good. I'm glad the agents, it gives you guys something to like talk about, like Tom was saying. And that's kind of where we felt like the difference. Cause right, we go to these meetings and stuff, and we're just like, okay, now what are we going to talk about this time? It's just an easy promotion. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I love it. How are you getting up? How was your weekend? Or did you guys have rain? Or are you staying dry?
Staying dry. It was very cloudy this morning, but it's all gone now. So it's been cold. Like the last week, it was like in the 30s, like in the morning, 40s. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm ready for that spring.
It's so cold.
Yeah.
I am so over it. I'm in California. And, I don't remember a winter where it was so cold and so rainy.
Right.
But we were out yesterday. We were down at the beach and we're like, oh, it'll be a nice walk. And then it started to rain, and then nobody wanted to walk in the rain because who wants to walk in the rain?
Yeah. No, it's been anytime it's like under 70 degrees, I'm a baby.
I know, me too.
I've lived here my whole life. So I'm like, no, I need a little bit of warmth. A little bit of warmth.
Right.
Good morning, everyone. Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
Sarah, Luigi, Letitia, welcome. Kim, do you go to Summit?
I am, yes.
Awesome.
You're obviously going to be there.
I'll be there, yeah. And I just was asked to do 2 breakout sessions, so I'm going to be doing that. Yeah.
Oh, good. You'll have to let me, I need to see, do you have the agenda?
Not the full, everybody's asked me that after I tell them that. Not the full agenda, I know.
I know you can see me looking at you with a sneaky Pete eye. I'm like, I know it's like a secret, but I need a little bit. I got some agents because we're pretty lucky. There's a lot of ROG West that is going to attend. Not a lot, but a nice amount. Yeah.
No, I think I'm getting something later this afternoon, so I'll let you know.
Okay. But does it start on Monday or Sunday?
Technically it starts Saturday with the coaching sessions that they're doing and like the different designations and stuff. But the walk is like technically Monday, like we have our walk and it starts there. And then Tuesday and Wednesday are the main days.
Okay, so Monday is the walk and happy hour like normal.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I just want to make sure. But so Saturday and Sunday are breakout sessions. Are those invitation sessions?
Those are paid like additional designations for like listing designations and things like that. Tuesday and Wednesday will be the main days.
Okay.
For breakout sessions.
Yeah, I just needed that. That's fine. That's really what I was looking for. Okay.
I know they switched up. It's like a little bit longer this year if you wanted to do like additional classes.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect.
Letitia. Making sure. Bernadette, I'm going to make you co-host as well, just in case technology decides to do me wrong today.
Yeah. Good morning, Bernadette.
Good morning, party people. Happy Monday.
Right. Well, we need the rain. That's what I keep telling everybody. We need the rain.
We do, but I'm actually really, really excited for this training. I think all the agents on here and that are going to be on here are going to love this one. So
yes,
excited for it.
Debbie is amazing. The feedback is always phenomenal. So Debbie, I'm going to make you, did I make you co-host? I did. So I'm going to pin you the top there. Oops. I'm clicking buttons. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning.
Debbie.
Hi there. Happy Monday to all of you.
Everyone's jumping on here. I know we had over 100 registrations. I just looked before getting on. So we will get.
This is our topic. No,
We're not sharing our screen yet.
Okay. Just making sure we have the right topic.
Sweet. And Debbie, I know, so the group today is all in Southern California, which
Okay.
is super exciting. It's kind of your area. But I noticed you also have, I know we talked about the one in Palm Springs, but there's something going on in Huntington.
Yes, and actually, if you would like, I'd be happy to even offer them just a free ticket, because basically it's a free event. We're just, the ticket was really to pay for lunch.
Okay,
And if they want to come, I'll buy their lunch. They can come.
awesome. There you guys go, the exclusive.
Yep, so we'll pop that. We should probably just put that.
In there.
We'll put both.
Okay.
Stephanie will help us in a bit. We'll put up both links for them and try not to confuse them too much. Lots going on to get the party started for the year.
Yes.
Now, are we talking about luxury today, or are we talking, I thought we had a different topic, but we can do the luxury. I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, this was the one that we had promoted for escrow options.
Okay.
So yeah, if we can do that one, that'd be awesome.
Yep. And then I don't even think I need to do the PowerPoint. I've done this one so much. So give me a second and just let Stephanie know we don't need that.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to, while you do that, I am going to just let everybody know that the training schedule, or 2 more classes, have been added for February, and that is live on eoguniversity.com. You can go there and register. You just scroll down to the training schedule and you will see we are doing YouTube shorts for real estate. YouTube and video marketing in general is so huge for your business right now. And you know, we all have objections of videos, but it is such a game changer if you start implementing it into your business. So we are going to do that February 6th. You can go ahead and go there and register. And then the 13th to be determined. We're just finalizing that. But then also February 27th, we are doing Facebook ads to drive more traffic and generate leads. So I'll give you some live examples, tips and tricks on to generate those leads via Facebook ads. But today we are super excited to have Debbie talking about selling luxury and how you can increase your profit by increasing your average sales price. So I've been through this one before. The feedback on this one specifically has been phenomenal. So I'm very excited for you guys. And of course, please consider writing escrow options group on your next contract. They are there to serve you and your clients. And without further ado, Debbie.
Thank you very much. All right, awesome. And you know what? We're not going to use a PowerPoint today. We're just going to go ahead and just talk it through together, because I've done this event many times. It's a passion of mine to encourage all of you, whether it's selling luxury or just stepping up your price point. What a difference that can make in your profits at the end of the year. And actually, speaking of selling luxury, so Justin was just asking me, he said he noticed that we're having a February 15th event, and we are. So we've got 2 events actually coming soon. We have one on February 15th, which is in Huntington Beach at the Waterfront Hilton. It is 1 day, and the topic is listings. So we're going to talk about every type of listing, where to find the hidden listings, how to compete and win. We've got some great guests, some great panelists. And actually, it is a free event. It was a $49 for lunch and materials. But for all of you here today, if you choose to register today and grab a seat while you can, then Stephanie's going to put a link up here in just a moment for that February 15th event. And you guys can come for free. So do they have a promo code, Stephanie, or how do they do that?
Yeah, it's actually a link. I'll go ahead and put it right
Okay,
now.
but is that the free link?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you're going to get the free link if you want to come on the 15th. And here's what's very cool about the 15th is Ernie Carswell, who is a famous luxury real estate agent in Beverly Hills. Some of you may know him since you're SoCal. He sold the Brady Bunch house. He's Katy Perry and Fergie's realtor, among many, many others. He's actually on the TV show Kendra Sells Hollywood, and he's just a super cool guy. He takes the big listings, just took a $46 million listing, and Ernie's going to come and speak. And he's going to talk about 2 things there. And these are both important topics. One, we're going to touch on all of them today, but he's going to talk in depth about how he builds agent relationships with luxury agents. how he builds agent relationships with luxury agents across the country. And then he and I are going to have a real candid talk about how he built his luxury business when he moved to Beverly Hills from another state. And everything is all things you can do. So if you'd like to join us, grab those seats while you can. Okay, so now we're going to get the party started. Let's talk about selling luxury. So first of all, I want to share with you guys something that happened to me. You know, I'm here in Newport Beach, California, and in my career, I sold some higher end properties, you know, entry level luxury, but I never really sold the double digit luxury. So when my company just asked me to put together a luxury selling course, I guess you might say I felt a little bit like I had the imposter syndrome. Like, do I really know how to teach all the nuances of selling luxury when I've not sold that big double digit stuff? So I pulled Ernie into the mix and we did this course together. And here was my aha. My aha, as I listened to Ernie, and when you join us on the 15th, I think this will be your aha as well. My aha was, it's not that different. There really isn't anything I didn't know. Why didn't I sell double digit luxury, you know, all these years? So if you've ever been just a little bit intimidated thinking, well, I don't know if I know how to do it, I'm going to answer some of those questions today. And if you've ever thought, but I don't live in a luxury area, that doesn't matter. One of the best agents I know of in Newport Beach, he lives 30 minutes away and in a much more affordable area. Because you see, what we need to remember is they're rich. They don't expect us to dress the way they do or drive a Ferrari to the appointment or have a house that's next door to theirs. We just work for them. So any of the fear and hesitation you've ever had in your mind, just kind of let it go to the clouds and just remember, it's just selling houses, right? And just a lot more zeros potentially. So then let's start though with, how do you get your foot in the door? And please guys, feel free to type questions in the chat box. Happy to answer them. The best way to get your foot in the door, when you guys see Ernie on the 15th, I think he'll share this with you, is master your product knowledge. So I'll give you an example. Ernie said that when he moved to Beverly Hills from New York, he didn't know anyone. He didn't know anything about the market. So what he did is he started going out on the broker previews. This was the only way to get in those houses. But when he would go on the broker previews, he had a little leather journal. He would carry it with him. And as he's looking at these beautiful properties, in most cases, not always, but usually, he's asking questions of that listing agent. Talk to me about why this location is superior to down the hill. Tell me about the architecture. If I'm showing this property, what's special that I should really be talking about? And he just took notes. He was a student. But see, here's what was smart. These agents that were maybe 20, 30, 40-year luxury veterans, he was going in, getting them to dump all their knowledge into his head and taking notes, going back at night, studying that information, studying the market. And before long, month or two, he felt more confident. It's not that complicated, right? It's knowing the product. What he also said he feels is important is to know local stats in that market that you want to work, national stats, and even international. So what can you talk about? Data-driven conversations. What are those sellers wanting to know? Now, he has a rule that he always has 10 good properties to talk about. And it's interesting, we compared notes because when I got started in the business at the age of 18, my broker said the same thing to me. He said, you need to preview property every day, and you need to always have 10 great properties to talk about. You know, Ernie said he remembers once going to a party and he had just previewed that day one of Barbara Streisand's houses. This is many years ago. And he was talking about at the party, oh my gosh, I saw Barbara Streisand's house today, has a 14 karat gold toilet. Well, everybody's coming around saying, oh, you kidding? What else? And it became this great conversation. He actually became known as the guy that sold luxury before he listed a single luxury property. Why? Product knowledge. You could all do that. Even if you just started by saying, I'm going to take that market that I aspire to work in, and I'm just going to block an hour a week. And in that hour a week, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at the data. I'm going to put myself on, a search criteria. So those properties come up. I can see what's being listed, what's sold, what's reduced. If there is a broker tour, absolutely, I'm going to go on that broker tour. Another one of our luxury clients said, he goes, I have a saying, hang out in the neighborhood where you want to live. He said, now I don't actually want to live in my luxury farm area, but he said, I do want to list properties there. So I go to dinner there. I participate in the activities in town. He goes, I made sure that I'm seen at the local Starbucks because that's my area that I want to work and I want to gain more dominant market share. So study the product and then spend some time in that area that you'd like to dominate. So why in a more shifted, challenging time in the market is it a good time to get into luxury? When it's harder to sell the properties, the agents that might chase them go to the lower price point because it's easier. Now, the strong players in the luxury market, that would not be the case, but I'm talking about the agents that got a bright idea when the market was hot that, hey, if I can get a luxury listing, it'll sell in 5 days, which was true. Now it takes a little longer. Maybe some of them will expire. So another great agent, there's a client for many, many years, I think 10 years, Sean Stanfield here in Huntington Beach. Sean broke into the luxury market in a very severe down cycle in the market. And what he did is he went into Huntington Harbor where he wanted to dominate, got his product knowledge, knew it inside and out, and he started working the expired and canceled listings. And he went in with fresh enthusiasm and excitement. He was careful though. He was careful not to take listings where the sellers were just completely unrealistic, out of control with price, because he didn't want to get a reputation like some others were developing of not being able to get those homes sold. So he took the ones that were serious, made the right adjustments, upgraded the marketing, maybe did some staging, got them sold. So he became known as the go-to guy. He took that, turned that into a farm, and then continued to market himself south all the way down to the beach. And I guess you might say 25 years later, the rest is history. So it can start in this type of market very effectively because you start watching those expired and canceled. And if you want, just be super selective. Many of the luxury agents we work with, if the homes are not in gated communities, they door knock on that door. Some of you guys are probably familiar with the show Sopranos. My husband and I started binge watching it again at Christmas. And if you ever watched it, that area of New Jersey where Tony Soprano's home is located, it's a luxury area. And for years, I coached agents who farmed that particular area. And they had such a simple plan. They would wake up in the morning. They would see if anything had expired or canceled. They would put a little mini package together. It was like a mini pre-list, had a little letter to the homeowner, had their bio, a little bit about their marketing plan and references. And they would go to the home at 8 o'clock in the morning and knock on the door. Nobody home, they'd leave the packet. Then when they'd go home for lunch, since it was right in the way, they would knock on the door. Then one evening on their way home, they would knock on the door. Saturday morning, knock on the door. Sunday afternoon, knock on the door. So they made five attempts, only leaving that package the first time. Normally, in those 5 attempts, they got somebody at home. And if they talked to 3 at the door, they usually listed 1. Pretty simple, right? And a small condensed area. So it doesn't have to be a monumental project. Now, Ernie would say also, think of where do the people you want to work with hang out? See, Ernie, he'll share this with you. If you come to the February 15th event, he has never been a cold caller. He has never been a door knocker, and he's never called expireds. Ernie does it by building relationships. So there's a lot of ways in to the luxury market. He's not a member of a country club because he works too much. He doesn't have time. But over the years, he fostered and grew relationships, did such a great job with his service, networked with people. Like he is passionate about, I think it's a committee that he's on to restore the Hollywood Bowl. He is passionate about performing arts. So he's involved in some groups and in the museum. So he finds the things he loves, and then he gets involved in those groups, because in those groups, he meets people who are his ideal client. I'll give you another example. A lady that I coached for many years in La Jolla, California, she wanted to farm the beautiful area there that's, right along the ocean. And she thought, I can mail market, but how do I get in front of the people? Well, she discovered there was a beautiful nursery nearby. She loved to garden. And every Wednesday, you could pay $50, attend a luncheon, and hear a speaker. And she thought, hey, I just might meet people from the neighborhood I want to farm. So that's what she did. She went to that luncheon every Wednesday. It was mostly ladies, some men attended too, but most of them lived right in that area. She would do about 60 million in volume a year just from those connections that she met at those luncheons at the nursery. And then, of course, as she worked with them, and then they referred people to her, or she held their houses open. And of course, now she's holding this luxury property. Luxury buyers are coming in. Sometimes those luxury buyers often have a home to sell. In fact, I remember once she put together 60 million in business off of one open house because they had one to sell. And then she sold, double-ended that and double-ended this. And then they referred a friend, and it was just like dominoes. 60 million. Rich people have rich friends. Rich people have other people in their sphere that they can introduce you to. And also something a luxury agent said to me the other day, he said, rich people get bored. They move more often. He told me about a client, some of you know these areas since you're SoCal, who had sold their house for $3.5 million in Huntington Beach, went to Newport Beach, bought a house for $5 million, decided they didn't like the neighbors, sold that house, went back to Huntington Beach and spent $4.5 million. Not a bad client, right? So it's not complicated. It's more about choosing your slice. So are you going to break in by geographic farming? Are you going to break in through networking and connections with agents? By meeting people who are your ideal client through the community? So figuring out where you want to work and then saying inside of that area, how am I going to get connected? Now, we talked in the beginning about maybe it's not about luxury. Luxury is defined as the top 10% of the price point in your market. So maybe it's not about luxury, maybe it's just about bumping your price point up 2, 3, 4, 500,000. And I would encourage all of you who are considering a new geographic farm, as you're looking at the areas that have good turnover, which the title company can help you figure out, as you're looking at those areas that have good turnover and good potential, also think about why not farm one that's just a little bit more expensive, right? So for example, I could farm an area in Costa Mesa that's 1.2 to 1.5, or I could go to Newport and farm one that's 3 to 5 million. And it's not really that it's big luxury, it's just big dollars, right? Because it's an expensive area. So pick your area, think about the price point you want to be in, product knowledge, how are you going to meet the people you want to meet? And then put that in your schedule. Now, I would encourage you, as they might say, don't give up your day job, right? So protect that bread and butter portion of your business. And we talked about time blocking an hour to study the product. If you're really serious about this, maybe you time block 20% of your week and say, that's going to be my time to pursue luxury activities. That might be when I knock on the doors of expireds, or I do some circle prospecting into a luxury area. Or one of the things Ernie did when he was new, he made friends with these agents by going around to broker tour, and he asked if he could hold their luxury listing open, and they let him. So some are going to say no to you, some are going to say sure. And what a great way, go to an open house, meet luxury people, and you didn't even spend a dime. Okay. So time block in your schedule to make it happen, even just starting with small steps, like learning that market. Then people always ask me, but what do I do when I go on that listing appointment and they say, how many luxury properties have you sold? Or how many have you sold in this area? Well, there's 3 things you can do, and change your mind case by case, right? So the first one is, remember, you've mastered that product knowledge, so you're going to be confident, you're going to sound smart, you know the data, you know the architecture, you know all of that. And you say, you know, I have not sold many in this price point. And that's exactly why you want to hire me, because you see, I am determined to dominate this market. I am going to work overtime. I'm going to do more for you than anyone else will, because I want this to be such a shining example of an amazing sales situation that all your neighbors want to use me. So I'm going to pour all of that into you. Never underestimate, people like to hire people who are hungry. That was one of Sean's biggest advantages in that Huntington Harbor market. Is at the time, you know, he was probably in his late 20s. He was just enthusiastic, and he just said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do everything I can. And most of them loved that energy. Now, second thing you can do, which you should always do, this one, is lean on the power of your company or brand. So if you're with a particular brand that has a large market share in the luxury space, either local or national, talk about that. Look for those marketing pages that they have that talks about the global reach, the international marketing, how many of the luxury homes, what percentage of that market that company controls. So you're going to want to use the power of that brand behind you if you have that. Okay. Now, third thing you could do, you can go to a luxury agent and say, will you partner with me on this one? And that's what many luxury agents will do for their first 3 to 5 luxury properties. Now, you'll want to check with your brokerage. Do they only allow you to partner if it's the same brand? You know, if it's, for example, if it's Douglas Elliman and Douglas Elliman, or is it okay? Like Ernie's company, which happens to be Douglas Elliman, they are okay if he does co-list with other agents outside of the brokerage. So you'll want to find out from your broker. And certainly, if there's a great luxury agent inside your own office, inside your own brand, that would just make sense, right? To partner with them. So you have to make that decision. Do I want to risk it and go it alone? Or for my first 2 or 3 at least, do I want to partner with a luxury agent? Because then I also get an inside peek into what they do and how they do it, which is kind of cool. So that's up to you. And I think you decide in a case-by-case basis, maybe a little different in each and every situation. Okay. So Justin, anything that's popping to your mind that you want to stop me here for a second and throw in there?
Yeah, I think you talked about this a little bit before, but what about materials? And you talk about how it's not really that different. Would you do like maybe a little bit nicer paper on your CMA?
Yep.
Photos and everything's pretty standard, but do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Perfect segue. Exactly. My thought would be upgrade everything within reason, right? Like our luxury coaching clients would never think they had to, again, that they have to outdress their clients. So you don't need to go spend $5,000 on, on an outfit or buy the Gucci shoes. You just want to make sure that you look professional, that your materials, yes, I would look at it with a critical eye and say, do I need to upgrade the quality of the paper? Do I need to add in? I can have my typical presentation, whether it's buyer or seller, but do I need to add in a couple of pages that are more specific to luxury? And most of you, if you look at the marketing materials that your company offers, you probably could find a few pages that would really upgrade, the look and the feel of your presentation. Again, things talking about global reach, talking about networking, across the country, anything that could be applied, just 2 or 3 additional pages potentially that would be added into your standard package. Okay? And remember, these are people who are used to 5-star service. So they're going to be a little demanding when it comes to expectations of what you provide. So they're most likely going to expect you to do the heavy lifting, whether it's meeting stagers or even helping them find a mover or plan an estate sale and find that person to do that for them. So just thinking about what is their ideal service scenario. So upgrade your listing outfit, if you will, a little bit, upgrade your materials, and upgrade the services that you offer. But you don't have to break the bank, okay? You don't have to spend a fortune. You can do things that are more proactive. I'm going to be marketing the property to my database. I'm going to be reaching out to top agents who often have buyers in this area. I'm going to door knock the area if it's permissible, and I'm going to invite people to the open house. Like, have a really proactive plan. Then they're not going to be leaning so much on, are you going to advertise it in the Wall Street Journal, right? But what if they do? What if they're demanding? They've watched too much reality TV show and they want you to do some fancy, expensive marketing. What many luxury agents will do is they'll say to a homeowner, these are the things I do to market my luxury properties. If you want over and above that, I would arrange that for you. However, you would need to front the cost for that, Mr. Seller. And then when the property sells and closes, out of the commission, I would refund you a portion, or who knows, depending on the circumstance, maybe all. And the reason for that is, you're fronting a lot of money. What if they decide not to sell? Happens. I've seen it happen to agents who are spending $10,000 or $15,000 on staging. They spend it out of their own pocket. 3 weeks later, the seller says, wow, my house looks so nice. I'm just going to keep it. Well, what about the money that I just spent to market your home? And even if you had some agreement in writing that they would pay you back, how are you going to collect that? Going to go to court? Gets really sticky. So that's why you want to decide in advance, how high am I willing to go to take this listing? And I think of it as time over motivation. Are they motivated enough that eventually they're going to be willing to adjust it? Or are they just psychotic and they want this crazy number? And I see very little evidence of motivation. Gosh, I would love to have this, $7 million listing, but I don't know, because they also seem really demanding. And isn't that the funny thing? Sometimes the less motivated they are, the more demanding they are. So we want to get those luxury listings, but we want to get the ones that are going to sell. So be careful, enough time on the listing, decide what is your budget to market, stick to your guns there. And if they want a lot of extra things, ask them to front the money and make an agreement of how you'll pay back some or all of it upon the close, right? And would you ever, somebody actually just sent me a question this morning and said, should I ever take a luxury listing when I think it will not sell? However, I think the press and the excitement around it will create so much hype that I will do other deals because of it. Absolutely. In fact, the one Ernie just took, it's some famous Hollywood estate, 46 million. It's like legendary. However, he said, Debbie, I don't know if I'll ever sell it. I don't know if we'll find a buyer. He said, however, what I can do to market around this and how iconic it is, he said, this is kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity. I needed to take it. So when you're taking one of these luxury properties, you want to make sure it's a good business decision. Not taking it out of fear of losing it, or ego to say you have one that's, 10 million or 7 or 5 or whatever, but that it really is something you're going to be able to monetize and get a good return on your investment of time and money. Okay? And then, so on the actual presentation itself, and you can certainly ask Ernie about this, we're going to have a very casual, small group on the 15th. I'm trying to keep it to right around 150 people because I really wanted this to be an intimate mastermind networking opportunity. So you'll be able to chat with Ernie and talk to him about his actual presentation. But I do know that what he does is he sends a pre-listing package in advance. So in that pre-listing package, he talks about the nuts and bolts of, his bio, his references, his marketing strategy, some of the things that he thinks would be more technical that they would need to see or read about. Because when he goes in on that actual appointment, he wants that to be all about building relationship, looking at their motivation, understanding their needs, really letting them feel comfortable that there's that trust and rapport, and then custom designing that marketing strategy or approach. So that's just how he does it, but you can ask him more questions when you all get together if you choose to join us. So then if we think about how to leverage these for referrals, sometimes you have to be, how does Ernie say it? He says you have to be very mindful of letting them make the first move when it comes to the type of relationship they want to have. Some of them, they're going to treat you like the hired help, and they are not going to want to have a relationship with you. Can't be offended by that, right? We let them set the stage, the tone for the type of communication. Maybe they want you to communicate with their attorney or their business manager. So we don't want to be overly familiar. We want to be respectful and let them set the tone. Some of them want to have a great relationship with you. So you may have follow-up strategies that are different for different people. Some, it might be more professional and market-driven. Others that are your A's and your favorites, it might be seasonal gifts or inviting them to an event. But you can't approach them all the same, okay? Because some of them are going to be a little bit more standoffish, right? So just want to be respectful. Ernie's also very careful not to name drop. In fact, sometimes there's confidentiality agreements signed. The only time we can talk about who he's working with is if it's already been announced in the public, right? So if it's already on TMZ or Entertainment Tonight or out there in a big way, then he'll talk about it. But you got to be very, very careful, because we always want to be calm, respectful, and extremely professional, because we want those luxury referrals to come pouring in. So questions, guys, if you have a question, feel free to type it in the chat box. And then just to summarize, let's think about the sources. Geographic farming is an option, can be expensive. So you want to do a little sweat equity, participate in the farmers markets, knock on doors, hold open houses whenever you can, make them a neighborhood event. Working the expired and cancel, that's an option. For sale by owners, if you can find any, they're just so few. I know you guys have probably noticed that too. Also, circle prospecting or door knocking, you know, they're just people. Talk to them. I used to tell myself, there's more people in the world I don't know than people I do. And sometimes I just have to go meet them, right? So that could be, you know, the nursery like we talked about. Or I'll give you another example. Newport Coast, an agent that farmed that area for years. Do you know what his best farming method was? At the bottom of Newport Coast, there's a Starbucks. Every morning in his career polo, he would sit right where people pick up their coffee with his laptop, just doing work, not on his phone, saying hello, good morning, because a lot of those people were homeowners coming through the gates down to the Starbucks to grab their coffee on their way out for the day. 7 to 9, he sat there, met and greeted those homeowners. That was his version of door knocking. Not a bad version, right? So there's lots of ways. And here at Forward Coaching, what we're very passionate about is finding the way that fits you. If you're a relationship person like Ernie, that's got to be your way, or you won't be likely to do it. If you're like, nah, I'd rather just go prospect. Great. Let's write a plan for that. Or I'm more systematic. I want to do geographic farming. Awesome. And what we're going to do on the 15th as part of our session is we're going to talk about each of the main lead generation levers, not just for luxury, just listings in general. How can you go get listings right now? And I've hand-selected agents that are willing to share from the street, what are they doing that's working? Then you'll certainly get to hear from Ernie. I want to do some sessions for you on power negotiations, and we can talk a little bit more about some of the things like selling the tough to sell when you get them, handling sellers' expectations in a shifting market. So we have a really incredible day planned for all of you. Why did I do it? We all need listings. My family's all in the real estate business. So I thought, hey, we need to get together and do this. So it's on February 15th. You can check the link right there. It will be free for you. since you joined us here today. And it is at the Waterfront Hilton. Beautiful venue, and lunch is included. So all you need to do is show up, bring a scratch pad, a pen, or a laptop. Be prepared to take some awesome notes, to meet some great new friends. And I am perfectly fine if you would like to share that link with a friend so that you can bring a friend or two with you. Absolutely. Right now, we just opened up the room to a larger room so we can fit them in. And it will be, I believe it's 9 to 4, Justin, that the event's 9 to 4. And then they have lunch break in the middle, and lunch is included. So all you'll have to pay for is your parking. That's it.
That's an awesome deal. And Sue, I just put the link back in there. Everybody can go to that link and get registered for that. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, it's always a pleasure to be with all of you. And then again, if you join us on the 15th, I'll introduce you to Ernie, but I would encourage you, check out his website, Ernie, and it's CARSWELL. Just because I think there's some cool ideas and things you could borrow. He's always big about, saying, hey, look at what I'm doing, copy whatever you like. I don't think Ernie would tell you he thinks his marketing is perfect, and no one does. But just, check it out. Also, I would say, as a last thought on the luxury, if you begin to promote yourself as a luxury agent, but on your website, you don't have any luxury listings, that's going to look a little weird. So you probably want to make some friends in that luxury space and ask if it would be okay to promote their listing on your website, or maybe inside of your company. So it's nice to have that represented there. And Ernie's last name is C as in cat, CARSWELL. So if you just Google Ernie Carswell, there you go, Justin. Thank you so much, Carswell and Associates. And he's just a super humble, super great guy. And we are going to have some great scripts for you at the event. We're going to have a shifting market toolkit. I think we're going to give you a copy of my audiobook, Secrets of Super Salespeople, and then lunch. So can't beat that deal. I hope they'll join us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Any questions for Debbie before we finish up here? I know it's packed full of good information today. So if you guys can go ahead and register for that link there, it's a great opportunity. I mean, you can't beat free, and to be able to take away some gold from there, you definitely want to learn from the best. So any questions for Debbie?
And by the way, I'll give you my email too really quickly. It's Debbie@forwardcoaching.com. So it's easy. If you have questions for me, you think of something later, you want to run something by me and say, hey, how does this look to market for luxury? Always here for you guys. We appreciate the opportunity, and we like to build relationship versus being hard sale and lots of pressure. We'd rather just give you good content and make you happy and hopefully make you lots of money. So it's Forward Coaching. You can go to that for our website. My email is Debbie@forwardcoaching.com. All right, Justin. Well, thank you again for inviting me today.
Yes. No, thank you so much. And I'll think we'll see you in Summit.
That's right.
I'll see you there. Sweet.
See you there.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Everyone, real quick, if you want to go ahead and register for the next training, you can always go to eoguniversity.com, eoguniversity.com, and go ahead and schedule for the next one. I believe we are doing YouTube. Let me look here real quick before we jump off here. If I can get to the screen. Kim, did you want to say anything for the team real quick?
I just want to say hi, everyone. Kimberly Welch with Escrow Options Group. Thank you so much for attending. We were so happy to have you guys. Thank you, Debbie. That was this is great information, regardless of whether you're an affiliate or a realtor. But I did want to remind you guys just a couple of the things that Escrow Options Group offers. Of course, multiple locations. We're one of the largest independent escrow company in Southern California. Multiple languages. We offer, Debbie had mentioned upgrading and maybe making your listing presentation a little bit different. We offer list reports to you guys at no cost. You can print, you can use the data for any area in the country. We offer buyer and seller's guides. If you need those, we have them printed, but we can also send them digital. You can add those to your listing presentation. And I am going to promote, this is not an EOG thing, but go to your broker previews. Debbie also mentioned seeing properties. Broker previews are a great place to get to know other agents, other affiliates, and things in the community in the area that you want to break into. So when it comes to adding additional services for your potential clients, it's a great way to meet people and build that network.
Awesome. Good deal, guys. Please go ahead and register for the next training. And until next time, we will see you all in escrow. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.